You should just always treat a woman, the creator of humans other than God, the one her actual womb, 36 weeks pregnant, her womb, let me say that again, 36 weeks pregnant, a whole entire baby, human being, the one who uses her womb to give life. Women should just be treated differently when they're pregnant. Most certainly not held in a fucking tent like a hostage for a full year. Every cry for assistance ignored. Calls to the FBI, calls to law enforcement, blatantly written off like they never existed. You want to talk about gaslighting? This is Heather Gillespie, by the way. You want to talk about gaslighting? What is gaslighting? When you're in the presence of a fucking liar and they sit there and lie, and even when they're presented with the truth, they stick to their lie. One of two reasons for gaslighting. One, ego. They're a proud motherfucker and they're evil. Number two, they can't breathe. Someone is extorting them, standing on their neck, or threatening their lives or the lives of the people that they love into silencing them or into telling false truths. Those are the two reasons for gaslighting. So make sure you at least look into which one you're dealing with. One is a nefarious son of a bitch. The other one is genuinely not stuck between a rock and a hard place. That second one is in a vice grip. That second one is having his lungs pummeled. I'm sick of talking about this shit. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. You guys can go back here on YouTube. You can go back on Facebook. You can go back on Instagram. You can go back on TikTok. You can go back on Snapchat. You can go back on Twitter. There is documented evidence in the form of my own testimony, written testimony, recorded testimony from law enforcement, as well as other people involved, witnesses, video and photo evidence of every single occurrence that I have discussed. Every single time I've been raped, every single time someone has broken into my home, attempted to break into my home, or robbed me. Every time I've woken up and my purse has been rifled through. Every time I've woken up and the area, either in my apartment or in the tent or wherever we are, has been changed or rearranged. Never any legal warrants being presented. Never any reason. And by reason, am I out wielding guns? Am I out threatening people's lives? Am I in hiding? Am I eluding police? No. I am all in everyone's faces. The public, the police, the aldermen, the politicians. There's no one that I have steered clear from. As a matter of fact, I have put the keys in the ignition and my foot on the gas and driven headfirst into every one of these agencies, begging for assistance with this issue. Yet here we are, January of 2024, mother of 3 children, 17, 15, and 10 years old, 2 girls and a boy, raised them my entire life, their entire lives, from birth through 2020, when they had to go live with their fathers and I had to start taking over via FaceTime. Do you know how it feels to a woman? Do you know what it does to her spirit and her heart and her soul to give birth to 3 children and raise them their entire lives, and for no rhyme or reason, with a court order for custody, being the primary custodial parent of all 3? Your children have to go stay with their fathers because you can no longer keep them safe, because you are being attacked and chased and robbed and thrown out of your home and chased out of employment, and I could go on all day. There's no short supply of testimony. There's no short supply of proof. There's no short supply of witnesses. There is no short supply of allegations. There's no short supply of emails. There's no short supply of proof. There's no short supply. I go into a space of mental uplifting where I am meditating, where I am relying on sources like Abraham Hicks, like some of the old school motivational speakers, Joel Osteen, Tony Robbins, etc. and so forth. I rely heavily on those. Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, some of the newer school business mentors and coaches. They don't just talk about business. They talk about how to keep your shit together while you're going through business, while you're starting and creating business. How to be emotionally in tune so that you can get deals done, so that having all of this other shit go on doesn't sabotage your life. I will listen to good, reliable information that puts me in a different headspace, that allows me the opportunity that I need to, with mental clarity, bring my frequencies, my vibrations, my mood into a place that is not utter shit. Okay? My children are there frequently, about 50% of the time, in a high frequency mood. Then there are times when I can tell that whatever darkness is looming around me, the lies, the setup attempts, the entrapment attempts, the abuse, it's most certainly extending onto them, because their vibration goes from being carefree children to very, very low confrontational even. Those are not my children don't behave that way. Not naturally anyways. Same with me. What else do I use for coping? Not being woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning. So sleep, regular sleep, one of the most important ones. The gym, very active in the gym. My entire pregnancy, I've been very active. They took away every single coping method that I had and mechanism. They took away my gym membership. They take away all of these motivational speakers and motivationals that I listen to. How did they take them away? I'd love to tell you. I don't know about the gym. The GM walked up to me at like 6 or 7 gyms after several months of being there with obviously no issues. I've been a member of Export since 2013, I believe, 2012, maybe even before that. Very loyal member of Export. And my mother works for Export. And even with all of that, and oh, by the way, just because your mother works for the corporate office, they don't give a free membership to me and never have. Isn't that some shit? I've had to pay full price my entire life at Export. 3 months into a new set of harassment, the GM of the South Loop location comes and goes, Heather, come here. We have to give you a refund. And I'm like, what do you mean you have to give me a refund? He's like, I don't know. We just have to give you a refund. There was a note in there saying, give you a refund. The fuck? So now I can't come here? I don't know. He's like, call corporate. I have no idea. Okay, great. This is the 6th time an Export, after months of working out there, has told me I can't work out there anymore. But then they call me a month later from a different location and say, are you coming back? Come on. What the fuck is going on? So they've destroyed the gym for me. I mean, absolutely destroyed it. When I go there, there's no more peace of mind. It's almost like a waiting game to see if I'm going to get attacked physically, if I'm going to get asked to leave, if I'm going to be denied that I even have a membership. Just like when I worked there, I literally worked for Export as a personal trainer, and my hiring manager came in, literally shared a fruit plate with me for lunch. I went back to work. He left for the day. It's an area manager, so he goes to multiple locations. I come into work the following day. I'm cleaning up. I'm doing more work than probably the rest of this staff has done all year. Okay. And I'm not here to shit on anyone. I'm here to tell you what a fucking mess it was. Personal demographic information all over the place. Copies of people's credit cards all over the place. IDs, all sorts of shit. Just everywhere. And I went to Dave and I said, you guys don't have a shredder, bro? What the fuck are you doing with all this shit? You don't have a record destruction company that comes to take this, or the shredder pieces, or, what the fuck is going on? And he looked me dead in my face and said, you don't work here. And I said, what? And I've already been paid by paycheck. It's in my bank account. I have photos of the paycheck stubs. I carry them around with me. He said, you don't work here. I said, what do you mean I don't work here? I'm here right now. I'm in uniform. I'm working. We just had lunch together yesterday while I was on the clock. He said, you don't work here. I didn't hire you. HR never officially hired you. You need to leave. Oh. I said, I'm not leaving. I said, HR did officially hire me, and I have the emails, and I'll show them to you right now. And I showed them to him, and he said, nope, I don't believe it. You don't work here. And I said, okay, well, if I don't work here, I'm a member here. Here's my membership key fob. Here's my receipt for the month. I'm going to go work out. And I went and changed and got on the treadmill, and 5 minutes later, I was surrounded by 6 or 7 Portage Park police officers. There's about 100 witnesses for that occurrence. So we have occurrences like that where I am doing any and everything possible in my power to mentally uplift myself, to mentally clear any blockages or resentments or anger. And they just find each coping mechanism that I've utilized one by one and destroy it. With the YouTube videos, it was Abraham Hicks, it was Joel Osteen, it was Tony Robbins, and it was, I believe, Gary Vee or Grant Cardone. And I was doing a Gary Vee binge in 2020 where I was catching up on all of his old content. I was very into marketing. I was selling content for money. And I was teaching myself marketing through Shaw University. I'd already been doing it for 5 to 7 years on my own. But I was teaching myself social media marketing specifically and new developments in marketing, the shifting and acknowledging for the first time the shifting from every time someone asks me, do you watch XYZ on TV? I always say to them, I don't watch TV. You know, I might take one Saturday and binge a whole entire series on Netflix, but I don't watch TV. I'm running around. I have 3 kids. I'm in the gym. I'm working full time. No, I don't fucking watch TV, you know? And it was then that I started realizing for my own business, I had a business Body by Coco at the time, personal training business. And it was then for my own business and the content sales that I realized I'm not going to make any money in traditional marketing or advertising. People rarely pay for commercials unless they are a huge corporation, probably in some sort of contract. No one really watches unscheduled TV anymore on the regs. If they have time, maybe, but not really. It's not really a thing, you know, that they do. Everything is customized. If you want to wake up at 4 a.m. and watch some shit, you can do so. Why would you ever catch it on live TV? So why are people still paying for commercials? And how are they advertising? Pardon me. And where are they allocating their funds for marketing and advertising if they realize, you know, make this realization that TV and commercials are not the move? I can't fucking take it anymore, you guys. I'm not a dumb bitch. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm a loving, caring mother. There's a million things that I can be doing with my life that have nothing to do with being exploited in a fucking tent. I'm not in my own way. So who's in my way? Who's waking me up at 1 o'clock in the morning with their mask on? I don't wear a mask. Who is this fucking person? People. Why? What the fuck do you want? I have a production company called GoPro Solo. I was selling content that I was modeling. From 2015 to about 2017, I was being human sexually trafficked, groomed and coerced. All on a recorded line from the United States government. They have all of this on a recorded line. Nobody did shit to help me. I escaped that shit myself and got a job in renewables. I was selling renewable energy in 2019. It was then that they started beating me up pretty bad, choking me, holding me up by my neck until I almost lost consciousness, dropping me on the floor, stomping on my head, stomping on my back, locking me outside in the snow in shorts. And they just kept doing worse and worse things from there. They destroyed my vehicle. I had a Cadillac CTS. They made a guy try to break into my home while it was me and my children alone home in the apartment. Dylan was out doing God knows what, Thanksgiving dinner or something. with his mom and Mike Rome. How weird, right? But you're not gay though, right, bro? Your wife, who's stood by you for 4 years, hell and high water, she doesn't get to go to Thanksgiving, but Mike Rome though, right? Shout out to Mike Rome. My problem's not with Mike Rome. My problem is with Dylan Smith. And I don't even have that problem anymore because he's a non-issue in my life today. I haven't seen him or spoken to him since 2020. It's not until this badgering and incessant questioning begins again that I go back there, because I don't live there. I live here. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. It's a completely different existence. It's a brand new life. Why do you keep dragging me back to 2020, back to 2025, 2015, back to 2016? You've not even provided stability or safety yet today. In the words of Jordan Peterson, you cannot cure a trauma that is still occurring. Do you not think that being held in a tent in negative subarctic degree temperatures with a space heater to rely on to keep you alive, and shifty, irregular behavior from your husband? I know Xavier. Xavier came to save me from the people who were raping me in the street. He picked me up from law enforcement. LE law enforcement plates on a black Suburban with a person who presents himself as a badge, shows me a badge. That's who dropped me off, or his son. Actually, that's who dropped me off. Xavier came and picked me up approximately 3 hours later, saying that his brother is the district attorney. Xavier's brother is the district attorney, or works in the district for the district attorney in his office. My bad. And that he is going to protect and keep me safe, and that they know what's been going on. And can you imagine how I felt? Oh my God. When you get rescued, most of you hopefully will never know, but when you're being held in some sort of oppressive circumstance where someone is either taking sex from you or money from you or freedom or happiness from you, and you get rescued, that's not a trauma bond. How could you not love that person? That person just saved your life. Or so you think. For a couple weeks. And then what? Then you and that person are outside fighting for your life with nowhere to live. And my 3 children, what about them? Amidst all of this adversity, I'm creating photo shoots. I'm working on myself. I'm working out at the gym. If I can't get into the gym, we're working out outside. Xavier, how many days a week, with or without a gym membership, was I engaging in at least 30 minutes of exercise or more, not including pushing the cart or bike riding?
When we were staying at Airbnbs.
No, not when we were staying at Airbnb.
You would go daily?
Every day. When we were staying at Airbnb, I was pregnant with twins. Luckily, these fucking creeps allowed me to stay in the Airbnb while I went into preterm labor and lost the twins, and also gave me 2 weeks after that to recover before they threw me outside, blocking my Airbnb account for no reason. If you guys want to head over to my Instagram, coco.chanel.ysl, and click on the Airbnb reviews tab, you can see I keep all my receipts, boo-boo. Airbnb reviews, nothing but positive reviews. Oh my God, Heather was so sweet. Oh my God, what a great guest. We'd love to have her back anytime. She kept everything clean, very respectful. Yet, weeks after going into preterm labor and being treated for the loss of life, 2 babies in my tummy, twins, who we named Ruby and Rafa, 18 weeks, 6 days gestation, passed away December 26th, 2022. I stayed at Swedish Covenant Hospital for a few days. Got out, got an Airbnb, Michael's, by Higgins Avenue on the northwest side. One of my favorite Airbnbs. Reminds me the closest to normal home and stability that I've had in years. Nothing fancy, no TV, Nothing to do, just a kitchen, nice, reliable appliances, warmth, a comfortable bed, and a shower, and a toilet. None of this wake up at fucking 1 a.m. to badgering and fucking harassment. And then if you have to take a shit, God forbid you have to take a shit. God forbid. If I have to take a shit, I need to go walk 4 to 6 blocks to wander around finding a place that's going to be open, or go to the fucking hospital to have a bowel movement. Can you even imagine? Can you even imagine? I want my life back. I want to live. My 14-year-old was in 8th grade when this began. She's a senior in high school this year. I want to attend her graduation. I want to throw her a graduation party. I want all 3 of my children to live with me full time. I want to give birth to my baby and not have to worry about where we will lay our head down at night. And I want an explanation that makes sense for why we have been separated this entire time, and why my personal safety has been left in the hands of Xavier, a 39-year-old man who cannot keep a job at the Domino's for longer than a week before someone comes and intentionally, premeditatedly, and 100% target steals his electronic bike. I could not make this shit up. I could not make this fucking shit up. I have personally had 21 jobs in the last 30 months. Never have I ever been fired for some sort of performance issue. Always just the way I explained at the beginning of this. You don't work here. Or, oh, we hired you and we told you that we were going to give you 60 hours a week, but it turns out we don't have enough hours and we're so sorry. What? At 21 jobs? 21 jobs. Xavier cannot get a job to save his fucking life. Every single job he gets, there is some curated performance. Just like when we were coming back from Portage Park, I walk out to the northwest suburbs every single month. We walk. We just took the bus for the first time last month because I'm too pregnant to walk. I'm going into contractions and I don't want to have preterm labor. So we took the bus last month. We dropped off the kids' Christmas gifts and some groceries, as I do every month. Every month. We're on our way back from that. Xavier almost gets hit by a car on purpose twice in one day. They intentionally knock over our entire cart of everything we have into the middle of the street. That is one example, just like the changes to Joel Osteen and Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. I know what the fuck these men teach, and women. Abraham Hicks is a woman. I know what they teach. I know their messages. So when you start preaching from their voice, YouTube or fake YouTube, a message that does not resonate with the message they've been teaching all along, or an inversion of a real message to make it something very bad, what the fuck are they doing to our children? I'm a grown-ass woman who can report on this and has been for 4 years. They haven't done shit to protect me. My phone is still vulnerable to this. What are they showing our children who think that they're about to watch a cartoon? What about when we fall asleep to YouTube videos? This shit is wild. I'm tired. I'm about to have a baby. I have 3 children. Why am I in a tent? What the fuck is going on? And why? I didn't ask you people for war. I never been a fighter in my life, never. Never have I ever. When they stabbed me in 2019, that was the first time I had ever been victimized violently in my life. I've never been in a fist fight in my entire life, ever. Not as a child, not as a grown-up, never. Maybe a cat fight once, maybe, and that's even pushing it. Never been in a fight. You want to argue? I got you all day, bro. Don't even try me. Bring a fucking cot for a nap because you're going to be exhausted. I try never to speak on subjects that I don't have personal experience with. Ignoring you, I could do that too. But you can only ignore someone for so long. When people begin to infringe upon your safe space, your personal space, which is supposed to be this tent, you sometimes can't ignore it. You take as positive of a perspective as possible. And when they notice you being positive, they make you a bigger target. It's sick. It's really hard to understand how a person could have more than 4 years of, as I said, video, audio, photo, proof that I've been sexually assaulted, proof that people have walked into my apartment without a key, without any legal right to be there, opened the fucking door through 4 locks, stolen thousands of dollars of cash. It's all right there. All the proof is there. Why has there been no justice? Why am I still being woken up at 1 a.m. and held in a tent? Where are my children? Why aren't they in my own home where I belong? Why aren't we in my mansion, my castle? Because I was telling Xavier the other day, I got it out the real mud. Nobody put a roof over my head. I was at a point in my life at 18 years old where I either went in the house by paying my own rent at 18 years old, 17 and a half, just fresh out of high school, or did not have a house to go into. Got a job, was in college, had no car, no transportation, paid my own way, paid my own rent, worked as a waitress, no sugar daddy, nobody paying my bills. And that was a garage. That was the garage with drywall on it. My first apartment. 2018, I got my first house for rent, a 5-bedroom house, and I thought I had made it. My children, for the first time in their lives, had their own bedrooms. The girls had to share, but eventually Viviana got her own bedroom. She had an iguana. I got her an iguana. I drove all the way to Streamwood to Erin's house in a snowstorm to pick up that reptile tank. She gave it to me for free, and those are expensive. I worked hard for everything I had. Everything I had. It wasn't even a new house, just a standard bungalow looking. My bedroom was all the way upstairs. The steep of the stairs was illegal, the incline. I fell down those stairs, and I have a chip in my bone on my right thigh, or my right hip, rather, that will probably never heal, ever. But I didn't sue my landlord. What a joke that was, right? You see, the problem is no longer a secret. I'm not your scapegoat anymore. My kids aren't your scapegoats. My friends and family aren't your scapegoats. Your plan only works in secret, in the dark. And unfortunately, there's way too much light now. All around me, all around my family. So why are we still sitting here doing this? 6 o'clock in the morning now. They've woke me up at 1 something in the morning badgering. And I tried to go back to sleep at 3, and I tried to go back to sleep at 4. They just do everything, you know? I went to sleep 2 days ago and I had no rash. Now, my body is so itchy, I want to crawl out of my skin. I don't do drugs. I wash my blankets and my clothing regularly. Whatever virtual reality bullshit you have going on, I don't want any part of it. I want to press charges against everyone involved. I'm not your scapegoat. I'm not your guinea pig. I'm not your horse or your dog or your fucking cat. I'm a mother. I put on a fucking boatload of Aquaphor. Boatload of Aquaphor. I have it right here. Put it on like liberally, you know? And I wake up and it feels like 1/10 of my lip is hanging off of my actual lip. Like, what the fuck goes on in the 5 hours I'm asleep? What goes on? And then you want to talk about one love. I've said this so many times I can't even count. There is not a single person in the world, not a murderer, not a pedophile, and everyone knows that I would love to murder a pedophile or a murderer, anyone who does anything to a child or a woman, with no mercy. But there's not a person in the world who deserves what they've put me through, what they continue to put me through. Not one person. If someone pedophiles or murders, get rid of them. You know, simple as that. Put them out of their misery or banish them away to some sort of prison until you figure out that it actually wasn't them, or whatever the fucking case may be. Get them out of society, isolate them, and leave them alone. Just leave them the fuck alone. Why would you stand in the way of someone raising their vibration? The collective vibration raises when my vibration raises, when your vibration raises. There's no law that says 100 of us can be happy and another 100 need to be miserable. All 200 of us can be happy. As a matter of fact, if you go by the law of averages, you will be the fifth of 5. Why wouldn't you want everyone around you to be happy? Anyone out here waking up in the morning thinking, I would love to be a miserable motherfucker today? No. Xavier.
Yeah.
When you woke up this morning, was your first thought, how can I be the most miserable motherfucker out here?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. I'm pregnant. I'm ADHD as fuck. As fuck. Do you understand me? I can be successfully managing multiple online businesses, not fraudulently, realistically, with clients. I can have 1 or 2 personal training clients. I could have 1 or 2 marketing and new business development clients. I could have 1 stay-at-home client who needs home health care or home cleaning services. And I could still be creating content and social media marketing. All at the same time. And being a full-time mother. As a matter of fact, at that efficiency, with that caseload, as I call it, I'm the best mother and the best woman that they make. There is no better woman than that woman who I am when I'm doing all of that. Holding me in a tent, giving me a fucking dumbass book about Vanity Fair, no offense. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care at all. If I don't have enough money to go buy myself a meal and I have to ask people to feed me, clothe me, or do either of those things for my children, I don't have time to read about Vanity Fair. Why? Why do you insist on this tent situation? Why are there people breathing in the world who are so ugly? What does that do to the collective energy? You're in the comments of a 36-week pregnant woman who's crying out saying law enforcement and our federal government as well as our local government is refusing communication with me regarding all of these instances of abuse. And I have called them a million times and I don't know what to do and I need help. They've separated me from my 3 innocent children. The situation is bad. I'm scared. Can someone help me? And you're in my comments sending a tooth over and over again because I have a crown on my front tooth that's a little bit thicker than the one on its left. That's what we have going on here in this community. God. It's sick. It's sick. And this is 4 years of this consistently, and I'm recording it all and documenting it all. And how many hundreds of thousands of people are now aware of it? How many hundreds of thousands of people read the comments? Where are they at? Why aren't we rallying? Why aren't we rallying to raise the collective vibration with positivity, opportunity, housing, healthcare, support? Why is there a group of people in my comments and God knows how many other influencers or desperate people being victimized in their comments? Where are all these people coming from? Are we being cherry picked? Are we being intentionally put into one category of people who they know for a fact have cases, have legal grounds to not be okay with the situation as it stands? Are they putting all of us in one tech bubble and saying, break them down? What is this? And how patronizing and condescending it is that you expect me to not realize that something has been going on, that you think I'm that fucking brain dead. They don't make escorts anymore. They don't make escorts anymore because they're all dead. You know, what happens when you fuck a rich guy for money and then threaten his wife, his family, his livelihood? He invests money into your destruction. So these dumbass women who aren't even the ones doing the extorting, who have no idea that in many cases it's law enforcement. Or if it's not law enforcement, it's some fucking boyfriend in the background claiming he loves her to death, going through her email account as an extortionist. Can you even believe it? And if we're talking about escorts, and we're talking about rich men who pay for sex, which is 99% of them, if you really want to know, $500 an hour, $300 an hour, $1,000 an hour, or $3,000 for the night with no sex promised at a 5-star restaurant, 5-star hotel with possible sex. They're paying that shit without batting an eyelash. If they're paying that shit for one night of your time, what the fuck makes you think they won't pay 100,000 times that amount to destroy you if you threaten anything they love, like their work, their family, their business, their possessions, their life? Do you think they're gonna just roll over and give up? They're gonna kill you. Stop involving me in your fucking drama. There is no such thing as escorts anymore. Every rich man knows that all he has to do if he wants a woman is take her. The whole game, as they've referred to it, was destroyed by extortion and technology. Period. You'll never convince me of otherwise, ever. All that happened, as you can afford to pay people for protection online or exposure online, there is no reality that exists in the three-dimensional world regarding that genre. If you're going to see a girl or a guy and you're paying for any sort of sexual services, even if you don't communicate it about online, I promise you, they already know. The law, the feds, they already know. They know. They know when your appointment is scheduled before you do. Because they're working in reverse. They're working offensively. They're choosing targets. There's no more of this defensive strategy from law enforcement anymore. Yeah, they'll respond to a car accident. But even that, curated as fuck. Just like the car that was attempting to drive into Xavier and dump all of our stuff over. Just like the next car that literally pulled onto the front tire of his bicycle so that he could not get it out. So that he had no choice but to deal with law enforcement, who wasn't even a real cop, but rather a Russian impersonator. Xavier. Mm-hmm. What day did you have the issue with the Russian impersonator cop and the vehicle pulling onto your front tire?
Last week.
So that was January of 2024. Mm-hmm. So we have recorded instances ranging over at least 4 years of police who are not real members of law enforcement doing God only knows what type of weird shit, and somehow and for some reason I or Xavier continue to end up being the victims in these situations. What the fuck is going on? And still, with all of that, we cannot get a call back from the law. It's fucking crazy. What do you even say anymore, right? I mean, what bigger crimes are there to report than rape, national domestic terrorism, impersonator law enforcement, unlawful evictions and displacements, hostile takeovers on properties? I've reported them all. Every single one of them. Yet here we are in our tent, 36 weeks pregnant. Xavier pisses me off all the time. I'm confused. I ask him why his district attorney brother, if he's so great, has not even offered us a visit, not even a meeting. I ask him what the fuck is going on with the apartment that we started in. Why can't we be there? His father lives there. And sometimes I don't get any answer that makes sense. And then other times I just stop asking questions, and from the broken, I receive support from Xavier. Xavier feeds me. He goes out in the night, and from my sponsors or himself or donors or whoever the fuck, he brings back food. When I wake up in the middle of the night crying in pain because my hips feel like they're in a vice grip because I'm laying on wood floors, 36-week pregnant. Yes, wood floors. I'm in a tent with a platform. This is the ground. This is a little wood platform because when it rains or snows, we were getting soaking wet. All of our belongings soaking wet. So out of the trash, we found this little wood platform, and that is what I sleep on. That is what I sleep on, 36 weeks pregnant. And when I wake up crying in pain, he rubs my back and helps me fall back asleep. And when I start thinking dark, he usually pulls me out of that place. So here we are, 36 weeks pregnant. I was recording daily FTRs live on Instagram every morning, just showing where we were and what we were doing for the record. I got banned. I got banned for 24 days. They said I was violating the terms of service. They said that I posted nudity. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. I haven't done any paid photo shoots that are nude since 2018, 17. And they were private collection photo shoots that I didn't even get the results from. I didn't even get the photos from them. How would I post nude photos? It's 2024. I have not worked a paid nude photo shoot. As a matter of fact, if you go to my modeling profile where I booked my paid gigs from, it specifically says, will you do nude modeling? No. No, I will not. No. It says it right there. No. N-O. One of the most basic and universal words and easy to understand in the fucking world. No matter what country you go to, they pretty much get it. When you say no, it's no. But Instagram, for recording every single day, updates about I'm still being held in a tent for the love of God, they blocked me from going live for 24 days rather. So here we are on YouTube. And then I ordered 4 items for the baby yesterday from Amazon. I ordered the Amazon Hub Locker. I paid extra for overnight shipping to receive the package by tomorrow, which is today, Sunday, January the 21st. And they took the money out and still have only shipped 3 of 4 items. And they're not due to arrive until Tuesday. The pacifiers might arrive today. And I call Amazon. And I'm hung up on 4 times. The 5th time, I speak with a woman named, what was the woman's name? Pat. Pat. For 30 minutes, I'm on the phone with Pat. 30 minutes. But that's not before I went to Xavier. What stores did we go to today? 2 stores we went to.
Target
and
TJ Maxx.
Target and TJ Maxx. Who the fuck has ever been, raise your hand, if you've been to Target or TJ Maxx? Pretty much everyone in the world, right? With a pulse. Xavier, did either one of those stores have a single baby item?
No.
Not a fucking single item. Not a bobo, not a bottle, not a clothing, not a blanket, not a damn thing. Nothing. Not a single baby item. Target and TJ Maxx. What the fuck? So I order them on Amazon for overnight delivery and get robbed for the $12 or whatever and cents that I paid for the overnight delivery. And so I guess I'll just spend another 30 minutes on the phone to see if they'll refund that, but they'll say no. Just like they did the maternity hospital bag that I purchased at Christmas time when I was ordering my kids' Christmas gifts. They never sent it. They kept it. And they said that they don't owe me any money for it because they never charged my card the money for it. Okay, but I ordered it as one of 6 or 7 items in a Christmas package, and you did charge my card for it. Yes, you did. What the fuck do you mean you're not going to give me a refund? And why is it that when Instagram starts acting up and socials start acting up, Amazon starts acting up? Why is that? Why would that be? Why would it be that Amazon, which otherwise functions perfectly without issue, all of a sudden, some of the best customer service I've ever received is from Amazon. The literal most reliable shipping service I have ever worked with. I'm talking way, way, way better than FedEx. Well, maybe not FedEx. I've never really worked with FedEx. FedEx is reliable. I take it back. But when we're talking about shipping from purchases, like Mercari purchases, Alibaba purchases, eBay purchases, Amazon is hands down the most reliable. You could get it literally 12 hours later. Literally. Unless you're me today. Unless you're in a high vibrational frequency and The motherfuckers around you don't like that. Then you may or may not get your package. And you may or may not spend 5 calls and 30 minutes on one of those 5 calls talking to Pat with Amazon. So when you're a person who's trying to create wealth for your family and to put a roof over your children's heads and food in their stomachs, and you have to spend 5 calls, a half hour, maybe 20 minutes each. So what is that, an hour? And you still don't get any assurance if your package is going to come. And all of these things are happening all at the same time. All of them. My car is supposedly in a safe place in Valdosta, Georgia. As I was told by the person who had the car, he literally said to me, "Oh my God, your situation is terrible. I understand. I will not charge you for anything but the tow. I will not charge you storage. You call me when you have your plane ticket and when you're going to come down here and pick it up." I call a year later. The guy, no rush, everything's fine. I call a year later, some other third party's taken over. Xavier says he sounds like an inbred. And he tells Xavier that they sold my car at auction because why the fuck would they hold my car? They don't have space. That's a lie. Supposedly this is a several thousand lot space, thousands of spaces in Valdosta, Georgia, with no rush for me to pick up my vehicle, and it's safe there, and I just have to come up with the $50 to cover the tow. But I'm dealing with that, and now they're saying that they've auctioned my vehicle. I just paid the car off. I paid the car off 2 months before they destroyed it mechanically. Valdosta, Georgia. Dealing with some fucking crooks here. A whole line of them. Fucking wake me up at 1 a.m. My lip is literally about to fall off. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Put some hydrogen peroxide in my ears and try to go back to sleep. Jump on here to see if there's anyone worthwhile. Anyone with a badge in the audience? Anyone want to give some perspective? Anyone care to explain how it's legal or even possible for that matter for me to still be in this situation 4 years later? If I don't say it enough, and for the record, I'd like to press charges criminally as well as civilly against everyone involved in this. I've never agreed nor given my consent to be a part of this in the real world, nor in any sort of virtual reality experience. I would like to press charges against everyone involved. Korean wafers. I don't do drugs. I never have. If you know, you know. Oh, and also, so it's trying to get belongings for my baby, checking on the 3 big kids every day, multiple times a day, trying to sort through why I'm still being physically prevented contact and regular life with my children and family. And then these motherfuckers have the audacity, audacious, to send me a message through the Illinois Vine system, victim services system. Strawberry milk, Korean. stating that the offender in my case, a domestic violence case from January 6, 2024. Xavier, where was I January 6, 2024? Along with every other fucking day in January so far.
In the laundromat.
What? Have I resided at any residence or been in the presence of any person other than yourself and this tent since 8 weeks ago?
No.
Okay, great. So I was in this fucking tent. Maybe I went to do laundry. Who knows? I most certainly was not involved in a domestic violence dispute with Dylan Smith. What the fuck? But that's what they're alleging. Sending me victim services, telling me, show up, report to 555 West Harrison in the morning for court. They tell me this on January 6th. You're the plaintiff in a domestic battery case against Dylan Smith. I've not even seen Dylan since 2020. It's 2024. Hmm. 36 weeks pregnant. You know, and it'd be one thing if all this shit was happening and I was flowing with it as it came about, doing the intelligent, proper, rational, practical, best thing to handle the situation, which I do. I call the number on the victim notification and I tell them everything. How many hours have I spent on the phone with these motherfuckers? Why did you stop? Several hours. I always have Xavier here as a witness, and I always go live when I do it. And I recorded in my phone and his phone, and then I post it online.
It's 5 degrees.
5 degrees outside. 5 degrees.
Looks weird. It's light.
Yeah, I know. But I spend hours making these calls and being the responsible, practical, logical person, just like anyone. If your identity is being used in an accused domestic violence situation from 2024 with an offender that you've not even heard of since 2020, you have to call, right? And I call, and the women who answer are shocked. They have no idea. We've never heard of that. What the fuck do you mean you've never heard of it? This number is the number sending me a text message saying to call this number when I get this message. Here I am. Hello. Can I send you a screenshot via email? We don't have email. Okay. Welcome to the 1960s where we don't have email and we don't know what the Vine system is for victims and offenders. Like, where are we? Did I just fall face first into a fucking DeLorean? 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 This is 2024. Evolved America. Is it not? Pardon me, I just burped strawberry milk.
Okay. Let's get going on some of the writing, some of the production.
I'm not writing shit. Not a damn word. I have 447 pages written about all of the ways that I've been abused prior to Montclair and up to Montclair. the last 18 months have had its own novel. Sexual assault, getting my face stomped on while in the tent, dragged 7 feet down the street, having a transvestite impersonating Xavier drag me down the street by my wrist while he was on a bicycle, pulling me down the street on a bicycle by my wrist, burning back skin off, dressed as a woman, and Xavier. Dressed as Xavier, dressed as a woman. I could not make this shit up. I have video of it all, photos of it all. "36 weeks pregnant." Who the fuck wakes up a 36-week-old pregnant woman, 36-week pregnant woman at 1 o'clock in the morning and refuses to allow her to go back to sleep? Just badgers and badgers and badgers and badgers. Who does that? Write it all down. Okay. Suck a big fat one. The fuck? Write it all down. The fuck do I look like to you? Well, no, they're used to holding people in this position of victimization, criminal records, drug problems, true mental health issues. They're not used to dealing with someone who has a fucking education and hundreds of thousands of witnesses who can attest to their character. That makes things a little tricky. I was reading over some of the letters of recommendation that the doctors at Northwestern gave me. Thinking about how I would work 50, 60 hours off the clock after 40 because they didn't want to pay overtime. And I was literally assisting an obscene number of doctors at any given time. And I wasn't providing half-assed work to them. I was giving them all a full-time assistant. I think when you speak comparatively to me and other assistants that only had one doctor, the number of times the doctor would look for the assistant at their desk or call them and them not be at their desk, we would have the same ratios. And I was reporting to 6 to 8 different physicians at any given time, plus the entire 23rd floor of internal medicine doctors. I was doing their diabetic education, glucometer training, et cetera, and so forth. And I literally feel as though the ratios would be the same as an assistant working with just one doctor. Like, she'd be away from her desk either at lunch or in the restroom or on the phone the same amount of time, unavailable to her doctor the same number of times that I would, but I was responding to literally 8 on my floor at any given time. And then random calls from the 23rd floor for diabetic education. There's no me creating a problem. There's a deficit. I'm asked to do something or have displayed that I can and am able to do it, agree to do it under the terms that I'm doing it for my doctor. More doctors need that service. In conversation, they realize that I can do that service, that they don't need to hire a second diabetic educator, Melissa Sujak, and whoever they were thinking of hiring after her, because it's cheaper to pay a medical assistant who's working as an administrator than it is to bring in more diabetic educators. It's cheaper to pay a woman who has proven time and time again that if the work isn't done, she will stay an extra 10 hours off the clock and get it done. Because management is not the person who signs your paycheck and is not the person who reviews your work. You respond to a doctor. Your doctor is the one who's going to say, is the work done or is it not done? The office manager is just nothing other than the puppet. Yeah, I know what Hicks was saying, and I don't agree with it. that you're in a cycle of creating your own problems to solve the problems so that you can receive accolades for solving the problems. I'm pretty sure I didn't create diabetes, Abraham. I'm pretty sure I didn't create a deficit in diabetic educators. And I'm pretty sure I had nothing to do with incorporating electronic medical records into these offices, which had its own issues with patient care and efficiency. You take an entire staff of doctors who don't know shit about a computer, who are used to writing things down on a piece of paper, and you tell them, not only do we want you to take everything you've done in the last 10 years and upload it to the cloud, we want you to keep seeing patients, and if you can't keep up, we're going to fire you. You have these fucking doctors who they type like this. This is their IT experience. Do you have your mouse?
Yeah.
This is their IT experience. Heather, can you please page IT? I'm clicking, it's not working. And you want these doctors to do the job of a superhero on crack. See 20 to 40 patients a day. Abstract all of their pertinent medical record information from the paper chart into the electronic medical record. Answer incoming phone calls, schedule incoming appointments, refer, etc. and so forth. Manage care on patients who have test results incoming. And I'm the one creating problems because I'm there helping everyone. Hold on. Abraham. Come on, man. Can you give this a little bit more of an objective, universal perspective for me? Because, come on. I'm not the one out here creating problems. My patients are coming to me confused as fuck, calling me with 300 questions after being diagnosed with something. So guess what I did? Xavier, do you know what I did? They called me and said, Heather, I was just diagnosed with, this rheumatological disorder. I was ordered to take a prednisone taper. I don't know what the fuck a prednisone taper is. I'm confused here. And what was the name of the thing that the doctor said that I had? No, not that one, the other one. And do I need, okay. And do I start that tomorrow or... So enough of these calls, I decided to create a frequently asked questions board for every fucking diagnosis in existence. Everyone. There must have been 60 common diagnoses. And every question that I got from these patients, I created trifold pamphlets, created them myself, copy and pasted the information from reliable sources, had it checked by my doctors first, had display boards put up in their exam rooms with all of the questions and answers that these people would have. Abraham, is that me inventing fucking problems too? I am a proactive team player with the ability to work independently. I am ready, willing, give me, if it doesn't include being physically or sexually attacked. What the fuck do you want from me?
Have you been feeling sad most of the time, losing interest in things you once cared about? You may be experiencing these and other symptoms that are difficult to understand. These symptoms are worth exploring with a doctor. Learn more about major depressive disorder and a potential treatment option at managingdepression.us.
Is it live? Okay, it's live. Welcome to another Friday Heather update stream. We got a big update tonight. We got about an hour and 40 minutes of just Heather this week, and then also the eggs, and then also I got, what did I get? The screwdriver incident, like the police report, BCG. uploaded that to their Twitter. So we're going to look at that as well tonight. So that is the agenda for today. Hope you guys are all having an awesome Friday. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. K Court 96, how are you doing? BCG sent you. BCG is awesome. Your Highness, how you doing? T, got Dave.